I could go into a whole bunch of reasons why I think the Pixel 6 Pro is the best phone under $1,000, period. In 2021, I think one of the biggest deciding factors for people when it comes to what phone they choose is simple. It's the camera. Which phone has the best camera? So how good is the Pixel 6 Pro camera? The answer is, I think it's incredible. It is just mind-blowing to me how good cameras are now on phones. And the Pixel 6 Pro continues to just blow me away. But as someone that's been a big fan of iPhones for a long time, I really wanted to know, is the Pixel 6 Pro a better camera than the iPhone 13 Pro? Because really, I feel like that's one of the biggest competitors to everybody, the iPhone. Everyone compares everything to the iPhone. So I'm gonna do just that and show you some side-by-side comparisons of the Pixel 6 Pro versus the iPhone 13 Pro. So what do you think? Which camera is the better camera on a smartphone? In my opinion, I personally like the Pixel 6 Pro better. I just feel like it better represents the feel to me and the look of a really, really high quality, high-end camera. I feel like the colors are outstanding. I feel like the portrait mode just looks so good. I feel like what they do in their software to make some of these shots just look incredible, even when you are zoomed into crazy proportions, it's able to somehow keep it so incredibly clear. The software mixed in with now a 3-camera system that I feel like is just spectacular. I just think that this is the best camera on any smartphone. In terms of the actual cameras on these, you have 3 of them. You have an ultra wide, which is 12 megapixels with an f2.2 aperture. You have a 50 megapixel wide that is an f1.85 aperture, and a 48 megapixel telephoto that's a 3.5 aperture with a 4x telephoto. Now that is the furthest telephoto that is available on, I think, any phone, and it really is awesome to have. There are times that I have zoomed in way further than I ever would on my iPhone, and I was blown away by just how good the photo actually came out. Here's a great example where I was actually taking a picture at like this little petting zoo. I was with my kids and I zoomed in as far as I possibly could with the phone, and the furthest I could get in with my iPhone was only to here, as you see in this photo, and you could see just how blurry it was, obviously with all the digital zoom that was going on. And I took this 4x and I made it almost 10x or 15x, I forget exactly what it was, but I was zoomed way in. The image didn't even look great on my actual phone, but then as soon as it does its crazy processing, I just can't believe how clear it actually came out. That's a really, really nice thing to have if you're someone that takes a lot of photos and you're not always close to your subject. That's awesome. Now, one feature that I'm using that actually has come in handy quite a bit is Magic Eraser. This is like a new thing that's in their edit side of the photo app, and it's pretty awesome because like we all know we've taken a picture like this before where we have like a bunch of people in the background, and there's really nothing you could do about those. And if you want to bring it into Photoshop and Lightroom and all that and go crazy to remove everyone, you could. But what's amazing is this little Magic Eraser thing pops up. You can hit a button, it will suggest all these things in the background that it thinks you might want to remove, like all these people that you see here. I can go ahead and hit erase, and just like that, boom, people are gone. Now you can get even more fine detail and erase people by hand, but just straight up with the suggestions, you can see that instantly it just takes those people, cleans them all up, and you have a picture that basically has no one in the background. It works a lot better than I thought it would, and it's actually really nice to have on a phone. Or maybe a picture like this where there's obviously a little bit of a teddy bear there in the shot that I probably should have removed by myself, but that's okay. What we can do is just basically circle this teddy bear right here, and just like that, boom, the bear is gone. The other place the Pixel has always shined has been night sight mode. If you've never used night sight mode on the Pixel, it's just really ridiculous how good it actually is. And it doesn't take any skill or any like even crazy steady holding the phone to make it happen. So you can see this is how dark it actually is in this room right now. And take a look at this. Just hold it up to there. Take a picture. It does its magic. And just like that. Check that out. Here's another example. Ridiculous darkness. Just so you can see. Hold this up to here. Night sight. I mean, that's just stupid. Like, look at that. Stupid. It's just incredible. I mean, how they do this on a phone and how they do that all in software, it's just pretty impressive. But I'm not one to tell you that you have to believe me. I just am curious what you think. And because the camera is the most important thing to most people, I just wanted to show you some side-by-sides. And if you're still hanging around, let me tell you some other things that I really like about the Pixel 6 Pro. One place there's no question that the Pixel 6 Pro just destroys the iPhone is in the voice assistant side of things. The Google Voice Assistant, the translate speech to text, all that stuff on this phone is just unbelievable. How accurate it is, how fast it is, how it gives you the answers you want. I have read entire emails out with just my voice and they have been perfectly translated to text, and it's just such a useful thing to have, whether you're in the car, whether you're using the Pixel Buds with it, whether you're just talking to the phone. It is so nice being able to have a voice assistant that actually listens and works really, really well. I can't tell you the amount of times that I talk to the iPhone to have it type out a text message to me, and I'm having to fix 4, 5, 6 of the words in just a little paragraph. I have composed entire emails, multi-paragraph long, with the voice assistant, and I am blown away by how good it is. So here's an example of what I mean. If I just naturally have a conversation with my phone, for example, let's just say I'm sending an email. This becomes really convenient because now I can just talk like I normally would. I don't have to overly think about whether or not Siri is going to understand me, or whether I have to say things perfectly or really slowly or unnaturally. I can just talk and continue talking, and it picks me up and understands me and processes it very naturally. You can see that when I pause, it puts a period in there, which is very natural. It'll capitalize things. It just works really, really well. And I can't tell you the last time that I've been able to talk for this long straight with Siri and actually having it understand me and be able to process it without any errors. And as you can see from this, it does a pretty darn good job. So one of the biggest things about this new Pixel 6 Pro is the new Tensor processor. Now here's the thing, I am not a crazy techie in terms of all the details of what that all means. Here's what I can say. The camera, the phone, the processor, all the stuff that makes this thing operate feels super quick. It's super responsive. Everything works really, really good. I never have felt at all like I'm lagging. It opens up the camera extremely fast. It does the Touch ID extremely fast. It's just very responsive and very, very quick. There are a lot of techie nerds that'll get into a lot of details of what makes the Tensor so unique. It's obviously Google's first chip, which is awesome. And it just makes the phone really, really fast. I'm not going to get into all the details, but it feels great. It's very responsive, very quick, and that's really what the processor is supposed to do. Make it quick. The hardware itself, specifically the screen, is beautiful. It's a 6.7-inch screen. It just feels huge. It's great for watching media on. It just looks really, really nice. It's very... it's just clean looking. It feels nice. It kind of just subtly wraps over the edge here. And when you're looking at photos and you're looking at content on it, it just looks really, really good. I'm a big, big fan of it. It's super clear when you zoom into images. It feels great. I mean, I love the screen size. Even though it's a big phone, I feel like it doesn't feel as big as some other big phones, but it feels really, really good in the hands. I love the curved sides. It feels really clean. The back is super clean, obviously. The hardware is very, very well built. I really, really think it's a great device itself. I love that they don't have a notch up top. They just have a tiny little pinhole type of little dot there. And that's it. Just super clean, elegant, beautiful. In terms of battery life, it seems very, very good. I usually get done with the day with a ton of battery left. Now, granted, this is not the main phone I'm using all day, so I'm using this just kind of as a secondary phone. But when I've used it all day, taking tons of pictures, watching stuff on it, using it a ton just to kind of review and get a feel for how it works, I've never really gotten past 60% battery life. So it tends to last really long. It says on their website 24-hour battery life. I don't know what kind of 24-hour battery life that is. I don't really think any phone gets 24 hours, but overall it seems really, really good, and it has fast charging, which is great. 12 gigs of RAM in the phone, so super zippy. You can open up lots of applications. You can move between things pretty seamlessly. No problems at all there. That chip tends to be working really, really well, and that 12 gigs of RAM seems to be plenty because the phone is super zippy. You can move through things really fast. The 120 hertz screen feels really good. You can definitely recognize it a lot when you are browsing through websites or things that you kind of see moving quickly. It automatically adjusts to 120 hertz if you're doing things that would require it. But if you are using like just your everyday use for stuff, it'll actually go down to, I think, 60 or something less than 120 to preserve battery life. So it's nice. It kind of optimizes for what you're doing. So everything about the Pixel 6 Pro is incredibly impressive. Really, the only thing that is the trickiest for me and most people to potentially switch or get used to is Android. Now, I will say, this is the best Android experience I've ever used. I would expect it to be because Google makes Android, and of course they're going to make it the best phone to use Android on at all. I will say that I've had no problems operating it, getting around, understanding how it works, adding new widgets. I like all the customization and not having you kind of be a little bit crippled like you sometimes feel on the iPhone. You can kind of do anything with anything and just kind of customize as much as you want. I really, really like that. I like that you kind of don't have any limitations when it comes to using it. Now, obviously, the biggest thing to get used to when you are someone that is so used to the iPhone is the whole ecosystem that obviously we're all so used to with iMessage and FaceTime and just all those things that are so commonly used and they feel weird to not use. That's still one of the biggest factors to me, and I know for certain is one of the biggest factors to so many people, is how you leave that ecosystem. I'll leave that for you to decide whether or not Android is for you, but what I can say for sure is this seems like the best Android experience on any phone, no question about it. This, I believe, is the new Android 12, and it is really, really nice. They made it really easy to operate. It's very easy to get around. There's really nothing that I don't know how to do. They made the assistant work so well with it, and you can do so many things with just your voice that make it super simple and easy to use. The app layout, the customization that you can have with Android is really, really good. I also really like Android Auto. I've actually been using the Pixel in my F-150 that I have as actually like what's on my screen wirelessly. So I actually prefer Android Auto over the Apple CarPlay. I think it's just a better system, and I like having the Google Voice Assistant as my truck assistant rather than Apple's because it's just way more useful. I think Google Assistant just does so much more than Apple does, and I just am a bigger fan of it. So the overall verdict from me is simply that this is an outstanding phone for $899. $899 is not cheap, but when it comes to comparing it to so many other phones that are out, which are well over $1,000, I think that this is by far the most superior under $1,000 phone. The Pixel 6 itself comes out at just $599, so even cheaper, but I've only been reviewing the Pixel 6 Pro, so that's what I'm comparing it to. But I really don't think there's a better phone on the market than this for the price. It just is really, really well built. It feels high-end. It feels great. It has a fantastic camera, great operating system, super fast processor, everything you'd kind of want in a good phone. I'm definitely going to be keeping this phone and potentially having this phone as well as my iPhone with me all the time and using this as my business line, but also using this as my main camera that is always with me. I prefer the photos over the Pixel 6 over the iPhone way, way more, so I will prefer to use this more than any other phone when it comes to that. I also like browsing this phone, and I like using this for email and for Slack and all the things that I'm keeping in touch with my team on a regular basis. Because of that speech to text being so accurate and easy to use, I prefer this all day because I can be faster on this device and use it more efficiently rather than having to hope that Siri understands what I'm saying, which she never really does. So overall, it's a great phone. I'm super pumped about it. Would love to know your thoughts. Thanks to Google for sending it to me. I'm a proud person that is part of Team Pixel, they call it. So thanks to Google for sending me this phone. This is totally non-biased as well, though, because I'm an iPhone person. Still am. and I just appreciate them sending it to me. They should be proud of this phone because it's a real good one. Thanks for watching. Happy Pixel Day.